There are many problems in the horse industry. I think one of the worst is the plight of horse slaughter. The name of my presentation is Fight the Plight. This is my 5th horse communications presentation. I chose to talk about horse slaughter because I came across a lot of information about it, and I decided to research it more so I could make other people aware of the plight. Today I'm going to give you an overview of background, reasons for slaughter, how the kill buyers get horses, what they buy, transportation, the slaughterhouse, chemical concerns, and legislation. Horse slaughter facilities were legally operating in the U.S. until 2005 when the United States Department of Agriculture, or USDA, which is in charge of the horse slaughter industry in the U.S., stopped funding inspections. American horses are still slaughtered. Over 100,000 horses are sent to slaughterhouses in Canada and Mexico each year, and we cannot regulate how they are treated once they cross the border. I found that there were 5 main demands for horse slaughter. They are overpopulation, it is a food source, products made from horses, money can be made, and it's a cheap alternative to euthanasia. First, there is overpopulation of horses. The U.S. has about 9.5 million horses. Industry breeders breed multiple mares to get one winner, and the rest are discarded. Backyard breeders breed for personal reasons and could produce a foal that no one really wants. Second, the meat is considered a delicacy in many other countries, such as Japan and Europe. It is in many of their traditional dishes. Some cuts are used as cheap meat filler. Many European countries have found that some of their 100% ground beef products have almost as much as 100% ground horse meat in it. And it is used at the zoos to feed the carnivores. Other parts are used to make products such as gelatin, glue, leather, and musical bowstrings. Also, lots of money can be made. Kill buyers pay about 30 cents per pound for a good horse. Some law enforcement agencies say that horse meat can sell up to $40 per pound on the black market in Florida. Last, euthanasia is very expensive. Chemical euthanasia is at least $200, but depends on your vet and the weight of your horse. In some areas, it's illegal to bury a horse that has been euthanized with chemicals. You can also euthanize with a bullet, but I will not be discussing that in depth today. Tobacco rental is over $250, but in some areas, it's illegal to bury animals. Placing a horse in a special landfill for animals costs more than $100. Removal companies will pick up your horse's remains for over $100. Kill buyers purchase most of the horses from livestock auctions. Sometimes they buy from private owners, and sometimes they convince the owner that the horse is going to a good home. About 60% of stolen horses are slaughtered. Theft in California dropped by 34% after horse slaughter was banned in that state. The conditions of the horses is regulated by the USDA. The USDA does not allow the transport of pregnant mares about to foal, horses not able to bear weight in all 4 legs, foals younger than 6 months old, completely blind horses, and horses that cannot walk without help. They documented that 92.3% of the horses were healthy. There are many phases of transportation. Phases are holding for shipment, trailer regulations, trailers, Canadian requirements, live shipping, and Mexican requirements. First, the horses are held until they have a full load. Kill buyers often have a private holding lot. Some trailer their horses from auction to auction, or others keep them at the auction until they have a full load. The USDA requires that the horses rest for 6 hours and have food and water before loading. The USDA regulates trailering. Adequate floor space must be provided. Stallions and other aggressive horses must be separated. Because of the horse's long legs and high center of gravity, ramps must have a gradual slope and non-slip surfaces. The horses must not be trailered for over 28 hours. Some kill buyers use gooseneck stock trailers, which hold about 11 horses per load, but they are less economic for long distances because the single-deck straight semi-trailer can hold twice as many horses. In Canada and Mexico, it is very common to use a double-deck trailer, which holds about 28 horses. The low roof forces the horse to keep its head down, which throws them off balance. Their legs can get stuck in the slots on the side of the trailer, and they can fall on the steep, narrow ramps. So the USDA made it illegal to use these trailers for slaughter horses in the US. At some Canadian border crossings, the horses are unloaded, inspected by a vet, and reloaded. At other crossings, they're inspected while on the trailer, so it's difficult to tell if the horses are adequate for slaughter or not. Once the vet clears the load, the trailer is sealed and may not be opened again until reaching the plant. So if something happens to one of the horses on the way there, the driver is not allowed to open up the trailer. Canadian legislation allows horses to be transported up to 36 hours. Canada flies live horses to Japan for slaughter. The majority of the horses are giraffes. Canadian regulations state horses over 14 hands must have their own box, but shippers often ignore the regulations and load multiple horses per box, as you can see in the upper picture. And if you can look at the picture underneath there, you can see two of the manes of two horses in the same box. And if you compare the man next to the horses, you can tell these horses are much too tall to be in the same box together. The trip is about 24 hours, but flight delays can make it more than 36. They are held in a quarantine station for about 2 weeks, and then they go to the slaughterhouse. At the Mexican borders, the horses are unloaded and go through export pens. The vet checks to see if the horses are fit for transport. They do not accept stallions, horses with severe injuries, or ticks. Once the load is cleared, the trailer is sealed and may not be opened again until reaching the plant. I could not find a transport time limit for Mexico. Slaughterhouses are not designed for equines. The main problem areas are the kill box and the kill methods. Common kill methods are the captive bolt, the gun, and the patilla knife. Some kill boxes have slanted floors which are difficult for the horses to walk on. The head restraint is useless and often just gets in the way. The sight of some people spooks the horses, and the noise, smell, and seeing dead horses adds to the stress. I apologize for the quality for this photo, but this photo is from a surveillance camera of a kill box. And you can see that the horse is behind the kettle head restraint, which blocks the shooter's view. And the shooter is also too far away, which I will talk about more about that in a minute. The captive bolt gun was also designed for cattle. This photo shows where to shoot the little red dot on the horse's head, the picture to the left. Due to the location of the equine brain, which is further back in the skull, multiple attempts are often used, but the horse is sometimes still alert while they are butchered. Guns are also used. Stray bullets are dangerous and they add to their noise. The gun is to be shot 1 to 2 inches away at an angle from above in the same area where they shoot the captive bolt gun. If you look at my photos there, you can tell the shooters are often too far away and aiming poorly, so they must shoot multiple times. The patilla knife is only used in Mexico. The spinal cord is cut to paralyze the horse and then they are butchered. The chemicals used on the horses are a concern to consumers. There are 379 equine drugs banned by the Federal Drug Administration, or FDA, for human consumption. One of them is bute. It is a very common painkiller. It has no withdrawal period, so once it's given to the horse, it should never be slaughtered. Fly sprays and dewormer also contaminate the meat. Federal laws are one way to help solve the problem of horse slaughter. Many laws have been proposed, but they have not passed. The latest legislation I have found is the SAFE Act. It stands for Safeguard American Food Exports. It will prohibit the sale or transportation of horses and other equines for the purpose of consumption. In conclusion, I have shared with you background, reasons for slaughter, how the kill buyers get horses, what they buy, transportation, the slaughterhouse, chemical concerns, and legislation. My goal was to inform people about the problems connected with horse slaughter, so we can discover the best possible way to fight the plight. I have a lot of resources. Not all of my resources were used in making my presentation. Most of them were ones that I read during my research to learn about horse slaughter. Any questions?